So this is a slide where I want to spend a good bit of our time. And there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to walk you through piece by piece. On the y-axis, the vertical axis, we've got revenue. This is revenue at the facility. And at the bottom, it says 15,000 up to 35,000 at the top. And then along the bottom axis, that's time. So from 2022 to current day, actually 3 days ago is when I updated this. And what you can see with the blue line, the one that's on top, that is our scheduled rental income, right? So that's based on how many units are filled. This is how much money we're going to make. You can see it started there around 17, 18,000, give or take, and has steadily climbed, not so steadily. In fits and spurts, it has climbed. And the red line is the collected income. So this is what we actually received at the end of the month. Obviously, there's collection losses and that sort of thing, and they varied over time, and we'll talk about that. But what I want to point out, that first arrow is when I brought in third-party management for this property. So those of you that were here remember that, I was running this property. It was working pretty well. I was 85, 90% full, collecting rent. And I knew what I needed to do to take it from the B+ that it was on up to the A- or A that it could be. But I wasn't doing it, right? I was in the throes of hippie Mike and life was good enough. And why would I chase that dollar when I've got enough of them right now? But at some point I realized that's not really a good stewardship model. I should be trying to optimize the assets that I have. And so I wasn't going to do it myself. I hired somebody else to do it. And that's when we brought in the third-party management. And it went really well at first. Between there and where you can see where phase 2 opened, the revenue climbed by $3,000 a month. They weren't charging me $3,000 a month. So within 6 months, they were paying for themselves, and my property was doing better than it had been when I was just kind of, coasting along. We opened phase 2 that I just described for you in July of 2022. And then I started to get really, really scared, and I was really, really sad, and things weren't going well. You can see at the bottom there, from 2022 to 2023, that's 12 months, I had 11 net move-ins. Now, the first half of the year, revenue was going up. I handed the company or the facility over to third-party management when it was 90% full, so there weren't a lot of units. I didn't need move-ins. We wanted revenue. We were focusing on revenue, and that went up, so it was good. Then we opened a 17,000 square foot of rentable, climate-controlled expansion that cost me, as I just said, $500,000 to crickets. Literally, I had a move-in a month in the first 6 months after I had opened that. So those guys, Brent, Ken, several other guys that aren't here in the room, but were with me back then, will attest to the fact that I was ready to give up. I was ready to sell this facility. Some of them were half jokingly giving me lowball offers to try to get it from me. But I literally sat in an Airbnb and I was like, dude, if I can get $2 million for this, at the point I was into it for 1.4 or whatever, I'm like, I'll do it. I just want to be done. I want to, Ken asked the prime, well, do you keep it or sell it? In which circumstances is your family better off? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm a grumpy bastard. I think they're better off if I get rid of this thing. And I was ready to quit. Fortunately, I had surrounded myself, like you guys have done in this community, with really good people who can kind of zoom out and get me through the emotional throes and the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And so I had a major mindset shift in January of 2024. And I just decided, listen, this facility is not doing well, and I need to fix it. Well, I know how to do that. I buy facilities all the time from crappy owners and turn them around. This isn't any different, except I'm the crappy owner that I'm taking over from. And so I really just, I re-engaged with the process, went back to the fundamentals, and I started managing my third-party manager. No vendor that you hire is ever going to just be the magic bullet. And so I've been working closely with them, and on the whole, I'm very satisfied. They had some growing pains. I took my eye off the ball, and my facility struggled because of that. Since we had that major mindset shift, you can see that we've gone from whatever we were at, 22K, and February now, we set a revenue record, $27,500 a month, and then in March, we hit $28,000 for the first time. So things have turned around, and you can obviously see the gap between the blue line and the red line has closed, and so our collections last month were literally 98%. So 55 net move-ins from 2023 to 2024. We had 19 net move-ins last month.